Which one's not, Juwan? A is not, because South Carolinians who opposed tariffs, he made them pay the tariff. What about, so then what's the answer? Who would have not thought of him like that? Together, what is it?
C.
C. Farmers who opposed the National Bank. Jasmine, what did Andrew Jackson do to the National Bank? He vetoed it. And so would farmers support this, yes or no? Yeah, if they're against it, then they like that he did this. Now, the creator of the image would most likely agree with which of these statements. Hands, please. What you got for that one? Jim, scooch up, please. Oscar, what'd you put? B. Get your points, Oscar. B is the correct answer. People agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one, what's the piece of evidence that supports this? Together, what is it?
B.
B. Which one is it?
B.
It's B. Good, because he overruled the Worcester v. Georgia. What's that trail called? The Trail of Tears. What's the law called? Nicely done. Turn it over to the next page. Here we go for today. All right. Today we're going to talk about immigration. All right. We're going to talk immigrant experiences coming to America during the first Industrial Revolution. If you look up on the board, make sure you get your homework packet done. It's due on Monday. Take care of business. Stay on top of your work. No slipping, no sliding. Stay strong even as you get tired. Make every moment matter. Your participation has been phenomenal today, so make sure you keep it up and get your name on the board. All right, you can't give up. Too many people to prove wrong. Keep your eye on the prize. All right. The focus of the class today is on immigration. But before we dive into the history, I want to talk about immigration today. Look at that quote about Shakespeare that's on the very top. Just read it to your second. It's about 5 words. All right, that quote is incomplete. Look up on the board. In time we hate that which we often fear, and we fear that which we often don't know. We fear that which we don't know, and then we come to hate that. Do you agree with that statement or not?
Yeah.
Talk to your table. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yes. Oh, well, we know things are like trying like mess over things we don't understand and don't like and not like it.
All right, Oscar, you agree or disagree with that?
Agree.
All right, listen, Oscar. Why do you agree with that statement?
That's human nature. We like think about everything that's ever happened. We do that because we don't understand something, so we're scared of it because we don't know what it is, and we fear things that are different from us.
And we're going to see how that plays in with the immigration debate today. Now, a couple statements that are going to be on the board. I want you to stand up if you agree with them. Yes, you're going to have to get off your butts and stand up if you agree with something. We're going to talk about your perceptions of immigrants today before we tie it back to the past. So, stand up if you believe that we should build a wall between the United States and Mexico, even if it costs $18 billion. Nobody agrees with that statement? All right, we got one. Tamia, why do you agree with that statement? Tamia, take your hands out of your shirt so people can actually pay attention to you and listen. It's not that cold. What you said?
I said yes.
Listen to Tamia. Why?
Because they come in illegally and it's bad for America.
Why is it bad for America?
Because you don't know what type of people coming in. It's going to be hard to come to people out here.
Anybody want to argue with her? Michaela, what you said?
I feel like you can't say what type of people coming in because the people in America already come themselves too.
Exactly. So you don't bring more people in?
I Cal?
You don't ever.
I said that building a wall would kind of be useless because you're just building a giant block of concrete that they can dig under.
Who is they when you keep talking about?
The Mexicans can go around, dig under, or find another way over. The wall is pretty much useless.
Dajette.
We have a problem with them coming into America legally send them back.
So just, but it, wouldn't this just keep them out in the first place?
No.
All right, Samia, you can sit down. Thank you for standing up for what you believe in. All right. A wall is a huge issue with Trump today about this issue of illegal immigration. What about illegal immigration does Trump and other people have such a problem? Do you believe that illegal immigrants take jobs away from Americans because they work for less? Stand up if you agree with that.
Wait, what?
Do immigrants take away jobs from Americans? All right, Jasmine, what do you say? Eyes on Jasmine, what you got?
I say they do because at the end of the day, the people who here, they don't want the job. So if they want to come in here and work, that's fine. Because if you like, I'm too good to work for this, so why not have somebody that will come to the job?
So you don't have a problem with this?
No.
Jocelyn, what about you? Does anybody not agree with this statement?
I have a problem.
You agree with it, Tamia, but you have a problem with it?
Wait,
Hold on,
if we
let's-
agree with Jasmine said we stand up and sit down.
So hold on. If you look at the statement, this is mainly trying to force like a negative view of this. Do you think this is a problem that they are come, but if you agree with the fact that they're just doing work that other people don't want to do, Rodrigo?
Just because they think about the right one, because you can't say.
So are these immigrants good for the American economy?
Yes.
All right, sit down. Stand up. If anyone who wants to come to America looking for a better life should be able to come to this country looking for a better life. Hold on. Jasmine, go. What you got?
I feel as though, like, if anybody wants to come, that's how it's written in our constitution saying, like, if anybody wants to seek, like, refugee or stuff like that, you should come to America. But then.
Constitution, Statute of Liberty.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, we invite immigrants, but then when they come, then it's like you want to send them back, so it's been a history.
Jocelyn.
I don't think anybody should be able to come to America, because first of all, I don't want, like, some terrorists to come here and bomb somebody and stuff like that. I don't think everybody should be welcome to America.
But if they're, okay, Oscar, go.
My thing is, if everybody comes to America, there ain't gonna be nothing left for nobody to come to. If everybody keep coming in there and taking like all the resources from it.
Nothing will be left for Americans if people keep coming into our country as they wish. Nathaniel, you agree or disagree with that?
When you basically go to a country on an idea, everybody can come in for a crossroads money, do what they want, and by when they actually do it, you get married.
Tamia?
I don't think they should. You can go kill somebody in a different country and come out here, better your life, and you try
Tamia,
to
do you
kill
think
somebody
that,
else.
hold on, sit down real quick. A question that's not on here. Do you think the majority of immigrants are, as Donald Trump described, criminals, rapists, drug dealers?
No, you gotta be cautious.
That's like,
Yeah, they're more terrorists.
That would be great. Stand up if you think the children of illegal immigrants. So, all right, let's synthesize what we got so far. You are okay with, for the most part, immigrants coming into this country. You think there should be rules and regulations into how they come?
Yes.
Okay, but what if they're trying to escape violence or gangs or drugs, and they just need a safer place to come? Should they be allowed to come in here? Hold on, what if they don't have time or this like a year to wait for a visa or a green card? Like, you talk to your table. Do you think Alright, Michaela, what you got?
I feel as though
Hold on, listen to each other.
I feel as though they should be able to come, because if we were in the same foot, whatever that is, of those immigrants, we would want somewhere that we could run to the field safe. And it's the same way when all that stuff happened in America. We won't run to Canada. What if Canada people said that about us?
And so you feel like we should be more open to
Yeah,
these people?
if it's the reason why they're trying to come here, then you should allow them. I'm not saying let criminals in, but if people trying to run from hurt, whatever, they should be allowed to.
Okay, so there's a group of immigrants that are traveling through Mexico right now that Trump has sent 15,000 soldiers to the border to keep from coming into our country.
I'm real Trump.
Why, Tamia?
Look, it's better be safe than sorry. Come on, you gonna just let everybody in your house
Has Tamia convinced anybody?
yes.
It's like, you have to set anybody off, y'all have to take your food.
All right, Tamia.
Armani, what you got?
You don't know who they is.
Hold on.
Call me, call me.
Thank you. It's the first time all year. Come on, Armani.
Okay, I feel like I agree with Tamia. I feel like we should have a better system where they could become legal faster, but just let them in. I feel like we should be safe in some, because there's no telling what they happen, why they're coming down here, and people gonna say we already have murders and stuff down here, but why add to that problem?
Do you think that these illegal immigrants will add to that problem?
I'm not sure. That's why I'd rather be safe in summer and do them in background and stuff.
All right, hold on 1 second. Last one. Stand up if you've ever made fun of or been mean or discriminated or stereotyped any group of immigrants. Sit down, please. Now, hold on. We talked about this at the very beginning of the year. listen up, bring it back together. We talked about family deportation and family separation policy from Trump. We've talked about on the other side that families who are escaping hardship should be able to come into this country, land of freedom, liberty. All of these questions come back to this original idea as if, like, what does our country stand in? What do we believe in? How does that play out today? And we're going to see how it starts in the past. Hold on one second. I'm going to watch a quick film clip called, it's the preview for a movie, A Day Without a Mexican. Now, if you look at the top, it says A Day Without a Mexican is a satire. Say satire?
Satire.
We've seen satires before with Tropic Thunder and minstrel shows, right?
Yes.
Satire is taking a serious subject and making light of it, but to have a point at the end of it. So I want you to see what happens in this preview. I'm going to come back to you right after this. What happens if we just took, like Tamia wants to advocate for, if we took all immigrants or illegal immigrants out of this country, what would happen to our country?
Citizens, California has another crisis.
This is a real serious disaster.
And this one may have a greater impact than anything that has ever happened before.
Its severity cannot be underestimated.
We have lost our pride.
It is a state of emergency.
We have lost our dignity.
It's the beginning of the apocalypse.
We have lost our Mexicans.
I woke up and my husband was gone. And my husband, he was a Mexican, and he would never leave without his teeth.
Every explanation needs to be considered.
What's missing if they disappear? Jot some of them down.
I had to call people that were in the black market, people from the 70s. Now they're selling fruits and vegetables. I had to risk my life for tomatoes. Then I came here, the place was a mess. I had to wash a dish.
Why is the government calling them aliens if they did not think that they were from somewhere else? Here is Jose, mothership. Jose, mothership.
If we don't find them, we'll be in deep, you know what.
Car washes and customers.
And life as we know it will never be the same.
There's 13 million people missing, and you could be next.
How do you make the invisible visible?
Please come back over here.
A day without a Mexican.
How do you make the invisible visible? In this clip, what were all the things that started to go wrong if immigrants disappeared in just one day? Talk to your table, go ahead. Be specific, please. Sit up, please. Alright. Kim, what's something that disappeared or what's something that went wrong?
I said, the people that cut the grass.
Alright, you've got landscapers. What else, Ryan? Make sure they get their point. What else?
Construction workers.
Good. What else? Perfect. What's the point the movie's trying to make? Discuss that. Go. Oscar, what's the point?
That Mexicans do all the things we take for granted.
And then without immigrants, what happens to our country? And from the very beginning, we have been a nation of immigrants. It's not like anyone who was originally here. At the end of the day, all of us, I mean, you enslaved Africans forced to come over here, but at the end of the day, we are a nation of immigrants. And we are built on that. And so these questions to me about who can come, who can't come, how they're treated, all these things we're dealing with today, we've been debating that for the past 300 years. And then in time, what we hate, we fear, and what we fear, we don't often know. I think that applies to immigrants. We have to know what the real story is in order to figure out what's going on. So let's go back into the past. Oscar, sorry, what's your question?
Oh, so I was watching Stargate and he was talking about like Fidel Castro and the Cubans like come to America.
We're gonna get to Fidel Castro in Cuba in the 1960s.
I was wondering, like, what happened with that? Did they let them like come in? Everybody come in?
Fidel Castro is going to be a communist takeover in Cuba. Some are going to try to escape persecution. Our country originally, like, it's gone back and forth whether or not we allow immigrants in from Cuba. So we're going to get to all that when we get to that. All right, so take a look at this map. 1820, 1840, 1920, all right? Where are some of these places that immigrants are coming in from? Just look at the map. Talk to me about some of the places they're coming from. Put a star next to Great Britain and Ireland. That's going to be one group of immigrants we're going to talk about. Listen up, almost 8 million immigrants coming from Great Britain and Ireland. We're also going to talk about immigrants coming from Germany, and then we're going to talk about immigrants coming from China. So 3 different groups of immigrants today. We're going to see what their experiences were like. We're going to be able to compare and contrast them, and then we'll connect it to everything we talked about today. Does that make sense? All right. Now, look at this chart at the bottom. This shows different reasons for when immigration spiked. So, if we're 1820 to 1860 around here, what are some of the reasons why? What does it say for the German immigrants? What are they leaving their country because of? Political unrest. Put a star next to that. What about the Irish? What are they? You got a question? Or you want famine? I'm coming to you in 1 second. Kim, what does it mean if you're going through a famine? Michaela? Starving. So you got political unrest. You got famine. Chinese immigration. What's that one going to be about? Economic opportunity. So we're going to see these three groups today. Over the course of the entire year, we're going to see other waves of immigrants come in at different points, and we're going to see how they're similar and different throughout time. Does that make sense? All right, Ken, what's your question?
Jasmine noticed that there were no immigrants coming from Africa, but were slaves immigrants?
What do you think? Immigrants typically means voluntary or like desired movement. So do you think they should be categorized as immigrants?
No, it was forced.
Forced slave labor. Okay? There was that Texas textbook, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did that say?
Called
Sorry,
Worker.
this is Ms. Canepa. She teaches history too.
Hi.
What was the line in the textbook?
The Texas textbook said that Africans were coming to America to seek job opportunities. They were coming as workers, which is obviously inaccurate. It's a way to describe it in a way that veils the truth.
You know the author of the book?
Do you remember? I'll find out. I'll text Mr. Coleman later and let you guys know.
But they are definitely not categorized under like the waves of immigration. Alright.
Like 2 years ago. It was really recent.
Alright, grab your notebooks. Here we go. Let's get some background information, please. Alright, Alright. Notebooks, please. Let's go, let's go. 1820, 1860 immigration. Alright, Kim, put you on the spot again. Big context for immigration. What's leading up to it? What's causing it? Say it one more time. Kim, why is the Industrial Revolution causing these waves of immigration during this time?
People are coming to see.
Are you listening?
People coming for opportunities.
Specifically where?
In the West.
Which factories?
In Oakland.
Which ones? Textile mills. And who are they going to take the job? Who are they going to replace in worker factories?
Women.
There you go. So Industrial Revolution sets the big context. Looking for jobs, looking for economic opportunity. We're going to see their experience and what they faced when they got here. All right. Quickly, we're going to start with the Irish immigration. There's a lot in here. Abbreviate as you need. If you already have context or know about the Irish immigration, then you can take what you need in order to deepen your understanding of what they're coming and what their experience is like. All right. 1840s for the Irish immigration. Right in the middle of the first industrial revolution, transportation revolution, market revolution, and mostly moving to the northeast. The reasons for them coming are that there's a famine in Ireland. Their main staple crop, potatoes, there was a fungus that caused their crops to die out, so there was a huge famine where millions of families were starving to death. Instead of remaining in Ireland, they decided to look for a better life in a better place and move to America. Now, their experience is incredibly challenging. They're going to come here with everything they have. They're going to remain in mostly northeastern cities, Philadelphia and New York. They're going to work in difficult jobs, building canals, railroads, or in textile mills. And they're going to face, to me, a lot of discrimination. And it is mostly religious discrimination. The Irish are Catholic. Most of our country at this point is Protestant. And so there's a divide between Catholics and Protestantism, and there's discrimination against Irish because of their Catholic beliefs. Now, what do when they arrive? They establish churches, they build schools. They're gonna try and assimilate into American society. They're also gonna maintain their own communities. Does it make sense when more Irish come in to move next to Irish that are already here?
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna wanna maintain some of their own communities, and they're also gonna wanna assimilate into American society. You talk about push or pull factors in the past. This is a push or a pull for them. Famine, are they being pushed out of their country or are they being pulled to America? They're being pushed. I was going to explain it.
Since they don't have food, they gotta leave
A push is like you are leaving where you are from because something is happening there that you do not want to remain there. A pull would be something like, I want to move to a place because of economic opportunity. So does this make sense as a push reason?
Yeah.
If they could stay in Ireland, would they have wanted to stay in Ireland?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, Germans. Alright, 1840, same time period. Political upheaval, war. In the German states at this time, there is conflict and there is war and upheaval, general time of instability in their country. So is that a push or a pull reason?
Push.
Alright, Cal, is it push or pull?
Push.
Why is it push, Cal?
Because they have to leave their country because they don't want to be country.
Good. Now, I want you to always be comparing and contrasting in your head, thinking about how they're similar or different from the last group of immigrants we talked about. They're going to concentrate in the Midwest. In Germany, there were a lot of farmers, and so they're going to move to the Midwest to start their own farms. Start to think about how this is similar and different from the Irish experience. They're going to maintain their own culture and communities. They're going to start schools, newspapers. Kindergarten comes from Germany. Beer gardens, Budweiser, the idea of Santa Claus comes from Germany. And so a lot of their culture will be maintained and become a part of the American culture. They're going to be very close-knit German communities that congregate in the Midwest. Chicago, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Illinois. And so a lot of these farms in the Midwest are going to start to be populated by German families. Now they're going to face less discrimination than the Irish. What do you think? Why do you think they're going to face less discrimination than the Irish? What were the Irish discriminated against for?
Religion.
And so Germans, Protestant, they're not going to face that similar type of discrimination. So if you think about the Germans and you think about the Irish, how are they similar? How are they different from the Irish experience? In what ways are they similar? In what ways are they different? Talk to your table. Go ahead. All right, John Jay, are there any similarities between the Irish and the Germans?
They're similar, and it's good because they're both being pushed out their country because of problems with them.
Say it one more time. Everybody listen up.
They're both being pushed out their country because of problems with them.
Are there any differences between these two groups? What'd you say, Summer?
They face different levels of discrimination.
Different levels of discrimination. Jazz, what else?
I said, the Irish, they wanted to come work on like railroads and stuff like that, and then the German came from off.
All right, so there's difference in their experience, the discrimination, and differences in the type of work they do. All right, last group, Chinese immigration. All right, again, be able to compare and contrast. Just like we compared and contrast the regions, we're going to compare and contrast the experiences and the reasons for these groups of immigrants. Make sure you keep the purpose in your head. Now, 1850s. 1849 for people who watch football. San Francisco 49ers beat the Oakland Raiders last night in football. 49ers, they called the 49ers because in 1849, what did they discover in California? So that's going to lead to the California gold rush. Not as much gold as is publicized, right? But because the story starts to spread, there is a lot of gold to be discovered. People are going to want to move there for economic opportunity, to find gold, get rich, be able to bring money back to their families and communities. Now, the Chinese are coming for economic opportunity. Is that a push or a pull?
Pull.
That's a pull. Why is that different than the other ones, Tamia?
Because they're pulled to a different country for their economic opportunities.
Instead of being pushed out of the country where they're in. Now, again, the experience is incredibly challenging. Not as much gold was found in California as was initially thought. And so they end up working on railroads. There is very intense discrimination against the Chinese by white Americans. They end up working on railroads, being paid less, forced into mines, and been given the most dangerous jobs. They're going to form their own communities, try and stay amongst people, like people, family, communities where they feel comfortable and can speak their own language, have their own religion, keep their own culture, maintain their own customs. And so a lot of them will form communities within these Western cities in San Francisco, Los Angeles, all up and down the West Coast. All right, Chinese immigration, similarities, differences to the Irish and German. What do they have in common with them? What is different about them? Talk about that real quick. You alive? All right, you listening? Good, wake up. Who is this group most similar to, the Irish or the Germans? How are they similar to the Irish? Michaela? Huge amounts of discrimination. Ryan, what else? Trying to stay within their own communities. All right, all that makes sense? I want to do one last term real quick. So last thing. I just want you to get down these first 2 bullet points. This idea of discriminating against immigrants has a name, and that name is nativism. Nativism. Nativism means you are anti-immigrant. You believe that you are an American, that you came to America the right way, your family has been in America, and the people trying to come in here after you got here do not belong. Who in this class seems like they're a little bit of a nativist?
Okay.
Tamia has her reasons. Whether they're legitimate or not, Tamia has her reasons. Now, these nativists are going to form a political party. They're going to call their political party the American Party. Does it make sense they would call it the American Party?
Yeah.
Because what are they saying about what's most important?
They must say everybody, they don't consider anybody else American.
They are Americans, everybody else is not Americans, we're going to keep them out. So they're going to try and force immigrants to stay out of this country. They want to force laws to be passed to keep the number of immigrants down. They're going to be at this core of a lot of this discrimination. And they feel like immigrants, why are they nativists against these immigrants? What do they have a problem with?
They're different.
Ryan? They're taking jobs, they are what? Different cultures, they look different.
How could they say like they're Americans, but like they came in the same way as the other people came in?
Can I flip this?
Yeah.
Look at this political cartoon. Coming off the boat, who is this? A what? This is an immigrant. What are these people telling him to do?
Go back.
How do you know they're telling him to go back? But what's the cartoonist trying to say? Don't call it out. What's the cartoonist trying to say about, what's the message here? Talk to your table first, go. Alright. Ashanti, what's the artist trying to say here? I can't hear you. Who is immigrants? These guys? What does it mean that their shadows look like they used to be what? So what is it saying about these people today? Johanna, say it louder, please. How are these people hypocrites? I cap.
Because they're telling people they can't come into it because they don't belong there, but they didn't belong there to begin with.
And so that's like the issue with immigration, right? Like at some point in time, these people came in here too, right? So everybody's immigrants, but now they're saying we don't want any more people out. Now, the nativism we're seeing, the discrimination against these groups of people, is it the same as discrimination and nativism today?
Yes.
Is it similar or different to discrimination today? Talk to your table. Do you think it's remained the same or changed? Do you think discrimination against immigrants has remained the same or do you think it's changed? Why do you think it's remained the same?
just tell people
All right, Jocelyn, what'd you say? Has anything changed? What's up? Who is they who still don't want the? And the reasons why they don't want immigrants today, have they changed from the reasons why people were native immigrants in the past? Alright, let's dig in a little deeper. So, turn it over, put your notes to the side. Let's get into the documents for today. Alright.